By statutory definition, a gang is a group of individuals who identify with a insignia, a tattoo, a specific color, and commit crimes that will benefit the gang. They have an initiation process that's criminal. There's a blood in, blood out sort of a code, and they otherwise affiliate themselves with a specific gang. But the recruiting that we're seeing in gangs is happening at the middle school level and even the elementary school level. One of the officers that I work with, when he recognized that that was going on out there in the community, he said, you know, they're recruiting in the elementary school. What are we doing at the elementary school level? And, you know, what great insight. We're not doing anything.
We know kids are joining gangs in greater numbers. We know kids who typically are sort of on the fringe are more enticed to these types of groups. And so it's important for the community to understand why that happens, how that happens, and what we can do to really address the issue. I think there's a lot of stereotypes that come along with people who envision gangs and kids who are involved in gangs. Stereotypes usually are Hollywood depictions of what a gang really is. But in our community, it's different. We have kids of all colors, all backgrounds, all different types of family supports and lack of supports. We really have a myriad of young people that get drawn into the gang life. So part of the goal of this symposium is to create a common base of knowledge so that people understand really what the issue is, and then also have an opportunity to weigh in and discuss the strategies that will best help young people be engaged in healthy ways.
Too often, and this is a failing of many communities, we wait until the far side, that suppression side. I work in juvenile justice, and our work is very important along with our law enforcement partners. But when corrections and law enforcement are solving the problem, we've missed some of the key ingredients and some of the really successful approaches that prevent and create an environment where gangs don't have a foothold.
I think that the most important factor to consider is that we are facing, and we have been facing for several years, a growing gang problem. I think that we typically associate, most people in the community associate gangs. You know when gang problems are bad when you start having violence and then retaliatory violence, and that's a cycle that once it starts, it's really hard to disrupt. And because we are not there yet, I think that a lot of people are skeptical about whether or not we really truly have a gang problem.
As part of our work together as a multidisciplinary team, the Gang Prevention Task Force, a real key before we leap ahead is to really listen. And we need to listen in some specific ways. First of all, we need to engage the community, hear what they have to say. And beyond that, we need to use an assessment tool where we look at issues related to families, to individuals, to schools, to law enforcement, to businesses. We need to hear and assess where are gangs most impactful. And from that information, we can individualize responses. Assessment is the first part of every good intervention. That'll give us the direction we need. So we'll engage the community, we'll assess well, and of course, the earlier we catch it, the earlier we're able to intervene. So we'll certainly we need to address the current gang challenges. But long term, prevention, education, early education, and our work as partners. Again, some of the most exciting work is that we're working with our partners in recreation and education and early intervention. Oftentimes, corrections and law enforcement at the far end of the system, where it's late to be involved, we're doing our own work and we're separate from some of our prevention or education partners. This particular collaboration, which really speaks to our community's effort to work together, is about pulling that whole spectrum together, listening to each other, looking for overlaps so we can be as effective and efficient as possible as we work towards a healthier and safer Lane County.